Hi guys, it's Jess with Manifest of Jess back with another video. I know it's been a little while, so I'm so glad to be back. So I actually had a bit of a tumultuous last few days just because of moving. So I'm moving back to another city and I've been looking at different flats. Given that I have a little bit of a weird situation because I'm moving back into one of my old flats, which I had given up, but I really liked that place, and basically I had to fill in this gap. And ten a lot of landlords are not really cool with the idea. I mean, we worked with some agents as well, but basically it's a little bit strange to kind of have find a short-term lease. And as with any type of moving situation, it's always not the easiest. So basically, I narrowed it down to two flats that I absolutely loved in my favorite neighborhood. If you guys watched my manifestation story time about how I manifested my house in my dream country, in my dream neighborhood, we're talking about the same neighborhood here. And if you haven't seen it, you should check it out in my old TikToks. On top of that, I've been having some issues with um, just negative energy from certain people. And so basically, this was not a good time for me. And I honestly think that the emotions from these negative encounters with some very toxic people kind of flooded into other areas of my life. And so basically, I had sent in an offer for one of those dream flats, which I'm moving to this May in the new country. And so I put in an offer, and everything was good and solid. We basically came from the same industry, so it would have been really easy. But then for some reason, the negotiations kind of paused a bit. So I was devastated because it really was my dream, my dream location, dream flat. I loved the entire buildings. They also had some amazing amenities. So I was really devastated, and it was pretty much silent for the last 3 days. I'm not gonna lie, I fell into the classic trap of constantly checking the group chat. And basically, because it's kind of it's a group chat between multiple parties, me myself included, I was strangely checking so much that I realized I was making an issue over almost nothing. And it was really affecting my general emotional state, what Bashar would call your state of being. It was also really weird because basically the negotiation was already done, and all we had to do was wait for the papers. But then basically for 3 whole days, it was completely silent. In my mind, I was freaking out. I was so worried that the flat would have gone to someone else instead of me. And I almost felt resentment because I thought that, the person kind of, in a way, lied slash betrayed me because I thought the negotiation was already done. We agreed on the price and the terms. And so basically, for someone who's rarely triggered, I would say this was a pretty triggering event. I didn't want to look at other flats because this flat truly was perfect for me. And I felt like energetically that wouldn't be a smart move to do. So basically, despite all my worrying, I just decided that it was all going to work out, that no matter what was showing up in my 3D circumstances or what wasn't showing up, i.e., I didn't get a response from the group chat, I just decided that it was all going to work out in the end. I even accepted that even if this flat really didn't go to me and it went to someone else, I would be fine with that and I'll just look at a different flat. And then I came across the two quotes, one from Bashar and one from Joe Dispenza. And I'll let you guys just read it here. But basically, I decided that I wasn't going to let the negativity that was happening with certain people in my life spill into the other areas of my life. And as Joe Dispenza says, before you see the circumstances change, you have to be the change. And so basically, I decided to step into the abundance and happiness that I was able to elicit from within. I stepped into a state of joy, wealth, no worries in the world, just someone who's very carefree and knows that the world will always deliver. And so basically, I checked in with the group chat and basically asked about whether it was going to be the deal was going to go forward. And turns out they were just waiting until Monday for the official papers to be sent to us. Basically, all the complications were just in my head, and I really didn't have anything to worry about. And once I decided to trust the universe, to place trust in other people, and to let go of my self conjured up resentment, my day actually completely shifted from that point. I started being more joyful, smiling more, and naturally the world also reflected that happiness back to me. As someone who has always loved being around animals, it was funny because today, because of my natural state of bliss, I suppose, I basically had all these dogs jump up and play with me. It was really funny because it usually doesn't happen as frequently as today. And since the results were pretty much instant, as in the circumstances really did reflect back my internal state back to me. Another really cool point that I wanted to emphasize, which both Bashar and Joe Dispenza argued, which kind of deviates from the standard law of attraction line of reasoning, is that basically your manifestation should actually kind of surprise you. Yes, I realize that certain people are able to manifest a text which says exactly what they wanted to say. Some people were able to manifest a situation that they visualized 100% exactly the way that they had previously visualized it. However, I'm actually saying that that's not the best thing. And Joe Dispenza says this as well. You should be surprised when your manifestation happens, and it wouldn't necessarily be in the exact way that you imagine. Because if it actually happens exactly the way that you want it to be, that's really predictable. And when it's predictable, it means that you actually haven't changed. Bashar actually says something really similar with a little bit more of a nuance, which is that what your physical mind thinks is the ideal situation, the ideal manifestation, is only the floor when it comes to your higher mind, as in whether you call it God or the world or whatever faith you have. What you think is the best case scenario is literally just the bottom of as good as the world can actually deliver to you, i.e., what you think is the ceiling is actually just the floor of what the world can offer you in terms of your desires and the conceptions of your physical mind. Okay, so let's say you want to manifest a text from your SP saying that he loves you and that he's been thinking about you a lot. Yes, you technically could manifest that exact text said exactly the way that you imagined. But wouldn't it be better? Wouldn't it be more fun if instead of getting that exact text message, he actually surprises you in front of your door with a huge bouquet of roses and takes you out to dinner instead? Like, wouldn't that be even better than what you were imagining or trying to manifest? And isn't that even better? So that's my interpretation of what Bashar and George Dispenza both say when it comes to manifesting. And this kind of stuff has been happening for me ever since I learned about manifesting. Like, even if I don't get exactly what I want, I really do get many things that are a billion times better. Anyway, this might be the longest video I've ever made, so I'm going to leave it at that. This is Jess with Manifest with Jess, and I hope you a life of health, wealth, abundance, and happiness. Signing off.